Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
What we're going to do next is similarly start looking at the prediction problem. Prediction problem being where the agent is following a fixed policy, and what we want to do is estimate the value function of that policy. All right. So let us make the assumption that the task that we are interacting with is an episodic task, okay, not a continuing task. Of course, we don't know what the task is, but we need to make some assumption. Let's assume that it is episodic. We know that the states in the task are 3, S1, S2, and S3. And this is just going to make our life easier looking at examples and such. Let's assume there's no discounting. Okay, so gamma is 1. And we're also going to assume that on each episode, the start state will be picked uniformly at random. So you'll start with either S1, S2, or S3 uniformly at random, right? And then you'll follow some fixed policy pi. So remember, we're solving the prediction problem, and the problem that we want to address is, as you generate more and more episodes, right, and you see what's happening in these episodes, can we estimate V pi, okay, which means estimate the value for each of these 3 states. So let's just do it with an example, okay, it will make a lot of concepts clear. So suppose from this MDP, right, we started doing this, and this is the data that we saw. Okay, we've seen data from 5 episodes. The first episode started with S1, then followed by reward of 5, came back to S1, followed by reward of 2, then S2, 3, S2, 1, and then it terminated. Okay, remember that this ST is a terminal state. We're not mentioning the actions here because they really don't have any significance, right? The policy is fixed. So if S1, right, is the state, then the action you will take is according to the probability pi of S1, right, whatever action that is. And so there's really no need to specify it. It's not going to help us predict the values better. And then we saw something for S2, for episode 2, for episode 3, for episode 4, and episode 5. Okay, you have 5 different episodes on which 5 different things seem to have happened. The question is, if you look at this, right, what would you say is the value function of the underlying MDP, right? What is your estimate of V5? For simplicity, let's just call this estimate V hat 5. Okay, I think when I defined it earlier, when we said V hat T, the T stood for the number of actual transitions. Okay, so that's what we did when it was a continuing task, but it's, I think, somewhat more natural when we're doing episodic tasks to think of this superscript as the number of episodes you've seen. Okay, so you've seen 5 episodes. What is your estimate of the value function at the end of these 5 episodes? Take a minute to actually think about it, right? You've seen some data and you need to come up with an estimate. Like, what is the value of state S1? What is the value of state S2? Right? Now, the thing that most people would do to get begun with is to use some kind of averaging. Okay, let's look at what has happened starting from state S1 on the various episodes that we have seen and see on average sort of how much reward does it give us. So that's the approach that we will follow, and that's what's called a Monte Carlo approach. But it turns out, even if that is what you are committed to doing, there's multiple possible ways in which you can do it. Okay, so Monte Carlo methods, that's like a generic family of methods that estimate a quantity by sampling and averaging. Okay, here the samples that we are getting are these episodes. We want to construct some kind of average using these episodic samples, but how do we do it? Let us start with some notation. So this is not anything fundamental in reinforcement learning. I'm just coming up with some notation so that we can sort of clearly define and understand what is going on. Okay, so remember that we have seen a few episodes, 5 episodes worth of data. We want to start identifying sort of units of data, right? And in order to do that, let's give these 2 definitions. For every state S, I, okay, is going to index the episode number, and J is going to index the jth occurrence of that particular state in that particular episode. Okay, so more precisely, let us define an indicator function 1 of Sij. So 1 of Sij is going to be 1 if S is visited at least j times on episode I. Okay, if it is not visited j times, then it's going to be 0. So for example, S1 is visited twice, right, on episode 1. So 1 of S1, 1 will be true, 1 of S1, 1, 2 will be true, 1 of S1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 will not be true. Okay, there will be 0. If S1, 1, 1 is true, right? If 1 of S1 ij is 1 of Sij is true, then we're going to define a quantity called G of Sij, and that is going to be the long-term reward that we obtained starting from this jth occurrence of S in episode I. Okay, so for example, if we take S being S1, I being the first episode, and J being 2, then we're looking at this occurrence here, right, where I've kept my cursor. What is the long-term reward following this? It is 2 plus gamma times 3 plus gamma squared times 1. Okay, that is what is going to be G of S1, 1, 2, etc. And just to be totally clean about this, if the indicator function is false, right, for some Sij, then let's just define the G for that to also be 0. Okay, it's not really well defined, so let's define it to be 0. And once in a while, especially on the next few slides, we will sometimes do 0 divided by 0. If we do that, then let's take the answer to be 0. Okay, not to be infinity or something else. Okay, so let's just look at a few more examples of this. So 1 of S1, 1, 1 is asking the question, did we visit S1 at least once in the first episode? Okay, we did, right? In fact, the first episode starts with S1. So the indicator function is on. And what is the corresponding G? It's going to be 5 plus gamma times 2 plus gamma squared times 3 plus gamma cubed times 1, which is easy to do because gamma is 1 and that sum is 11. Okay. What about S1, 1, 3? Did that happen? It didn't happen, right? On the first episode, S1 was visited only 2 times, not 3 times. And so 1 of S1, 1, 3 is 0. And therefore, the G of that is also 0. S2, 5, 1. Okay, so S2, 5, 1 is on the 5th episode. Did S2 get visited? It did. Okay. And what was the G following that first visit? It was 3 plus gamma times 3 plus gamma squared times 1. Okay, and that number is 7. The second visit of S2 in episode 5, the G following that was 3 plus gamma times 1, okay, which is going to be 4. So I hope you get the picture. Okay, so G is the long-term reward till the end of the episode, starting from the occurrence that is indexed by Sij. Okay, now how do we estimate V pi, right? How do we come up with this estimate V hat? There's multiple possible ways of doing it, and what I'm going to give you is a couple of standard ways of doing it and also a couple of not so standard ways of doing it. So again, let V hat T be the estimate that we are going to output at the end of T episodes. Okay, so what we are interested in right now is V hat of V hat 5. And I mean, just because we don't have all the time in the world, let's only do this for state S2, okay, as an example. You can also do it similarly for state S1 and S3, but I'm going to use state S2 as a running example. So one standard way of doing it is what is called first visit Monte Carlo. Okay, so as the name suggests, first visit Monte Carlo is going to look at every first visit of the particular state on episodes where it did occur and look at the G corresponding to that first visit. Okay, so what are we doing? We're looking at the G's overall episodes, but looking only at the very first occurrence of the state in that particular episode, looking at that G. Okay, and then taking the average of all that G's. So one way of doing that is to just add up the G's in the numerator and then add up the 1 functions in the denominator. Okay, so the denominator will be as many times as the state occurred at all in an episode, right? So if there's an episode where a state did not occur, right, then the G will be 0 and the 1 will also be 0. So what is this for state S2, right? Based on the data that we have seen. So in the very first episode, does S2 occur? It does. And what is the G following it? Following that first occurrence, it is 3 plus 1, right? Which is 4. What about the second episode? S2 does occur. In fact, its first occurrence is the very first state, right, in that episode. And following that is basically 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, and that number is 7. Okay, which is the second, from the second episode. From the third episode, following the first occurrence of S2, we have 2 plus 5 plus 1, which is 8. On the fourth episode, we don't have S2 at all. Okay, so I'm not including it in our calculation. From the fifth episode, we have 3 plus 3 plus 1, which is again 7. And those are the occurrences of S2. We've added up the G's following those first occurrences. We have to divide by 4, right, because it happened on 4 episodes. And so this estimate, right, this average of we had 5, let's call that we had 5 first visit. For S2, the estimate is 6.5. Okay, it's basically this divided by this. That's not the only way you can do it. Another way of doing it is what is called every visit Monte Carlo. Okay, so for every state, right, and for every episode, not only will we look at the first visit, we'll actually look at every visit. Okay, so not only are you doing like a summing over all episodes, we're actually looking at every possible time, right, every visit, possible visit of the state, and looking at the G starting from there. Okay, and correspondingly also dividing by the denominator. Let's do this with the example. So if you look at it for S2, see, S2 is occurring 2 times in episode 1. Okay, the first time, the G following it is 3 plus 1, okay, which is 4. The second time, the G following it is just 1. Okay, so we have a 4 as one of the G's, we have a 1 as one of the G's from episode 1. From episode 2, it looks like we have 2 occurrences again. So the first time you're going to get 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, which is 7. The second occurrence was here at the very end. The reward following it is, the G following it is just 1. In the third episode, there was only 1 occurrence of S2. And the G following that was 8. On the fourth episode, there was no occurrence. So that's a 0 both in the numerator and the denominator. And from the fifth episode, we have 2 occurrences. From the first, you have a 3 plus 3 plus 1, which is 7. From the second, you have a 3 plus 1, which is 4. Okay, so these are all getting added up in the numerator. And in the denominator, we have to account for all these occurrences, right? So there's a total of 7 occurrences. And so the denominator is 7. And so now you do the ratio. This estimate of V hat for S2 is 4.57. Right, so you can see that this is a different estimate from what we had by doing first visit Monte Carlo. So these are both sort of things that are done in the literature. I'll tell you a couple of things that are not done in the literature. This is just to make sure your interpretation, your understanding of this is cleared up. So we define first visit Monte Carlo. Why can't we also define second visit Monte Carlo? Okay, so I am defining this. So second visit Monte Carlo is going to look at every second occurrence of the state, look at the G starting from there, and do those averages. So let's look at what that is for S2. Right? Did S2 occur 2 times in the first episode? It did. Okay. Second visit, following that, we have a G value of 1. Okay, so that's the one that is here in this calculation. Did we visit episode 2 times? S2? Yes, we did. This time also it was a 1. Third time, did we have 2 visits? We didn't have 2 visits. Okay, we had only 1 visit. So episode 3 does not figure in this calculation. Episode 4 does not figure because we visited it 0 times. Episode 5, we have 2 visits. So from the first visit, there was a 5 or a 7. That doesn't matter. We're only looking at the second visit. Starting from there, we are getting 3 plus 1, okay, which is 4. So the average of 1 and 4, that's going to be the estimate that is computed by second visit Monte Carlo. That turns out to be 2, right? Again, which is quite different from the answers we got on the previous slides. Next is another invention of mine, okay, a not so standard way to estimate V pi. I'm going to call this last visit Monte Carlo. So, as the name suggests, what we're going to do is we're going to look at every last occurrence of a particular state in every episode and look at the G starting from there and average those G's and give that as our estimate of the value of that state. So by way of notation for state S in episode I, let times of Si denote how many times the state occurred in that episode. Okay, and so if so the G that we're going to look at is the G starting from times of Si. Okay, and if that is 0, right, let's just have the notation that the convention that the indicator function will also be 0, and we won't really be looking at such episodes. Okay, now what does this mean for S2, right, which is our running example? So the last occurrence of S2 in episode 1 is over here. We're getting 1 as the G following that. We're getting 1 from episode 2. From episode 3, we are getting how much? We're getting 2 plus 5 plus 1. Okay, we're getting an 8. From episode 4, we're not getting anything. And from episode 5, we are getting again 4. Okay, so we take the average of 1, 1, 8, and 4, and we're going to call that our estimate of V pi of S. Okay, and that in this case is 3.5. Okay, it's 14 divided by 4. Okay, so we've seen 4 different methods. They're giving us 4 different answers. Okay, so which one will we trust? So that really is the bottom line, and that's what we are driving at. So presumably, right, after you see like 5 episodes, you can't expect to have the right answer, right? There's probably going to be a fair amount of noise. But really the question is, as you get more and more data, right, if you generate more and more episodes, will these estimates, right, first visit, every visit, last visit, second visit, will these eventually give us the right answer, right? So that is the question that I want to leave you with, right? Remember that T is the number of episodes we are generating. After any T-sized batch, I have told you how to calculate V hat T, first visit, every visit, second visit, and last visit, right? We saw that for the example that we showed, right, with 5 episodes, they were giving us different answers. But suppose we are going to generate more and more data, not 5 episodes, but 5 million episodes. Will you expect these estimates, right, these V's, to all start converging to the same answer, and that for that answer to be actually V pi? Think about it. Okay, so think of each of these methods, see if they're doing something reasonable, and think about whether they will eventually converge to the right answer, right, which is V pi. So I'm not going to give you the answer right now, but we will start the next week's lecture by taking up this question. Okay. All right. So what have we done? We have continued with reinforcement learning. We made the problem a little bit more precise, saying that there are actually 2 problems we'll be looking at: prediction and control. And thereafter, we made explicit some assumptions like irreducibility and aperiodicity, together becoming ergodicity. We looked at a model-based algorithm, which sort of intuitively we gave the explanation why it should converge to optimal behavior, and we'll also be inducing an optimal policy from it. Thereafter, which basically means you'll do like a sublinear number of suboptimal decisions, which is what we wanted to do for control. We've started looking at prediction. Okay, this is by no means the end of prediction. We're just getting started. We've looked at Monte Carlo methods for predicting, and we've seen that there's actually multiple ways you can calculate these averages. The question is, are these giving us consistent estimates, right? In the limit of infinite data, will these estimates, right, first visit, every visit, second visit, last visit, actually converge to the optimal answers? Okay, in the sense, by that I mean the correct answers, which is V hat, will it converge to V pi? Okay, all right. So that concludes the week 8 lesson. Prediction is what we will continue with in week 9. Take care. Bye.